Hello, everybody. Out for Smokes is back. I'm your host, Mike Racine. Joining me today is Scott Chaplin, Sean McCarthy, and a good friend of ours, comedian, very funny guy, great joke writer, host of the new podcast, Jehovah Boy. People have said, I think I've heard people say that Mike Racine and Doug Smith are the best joke writers in the city.
People say that?
I think maybe like 8 years ago.
And the most successful and the
said
richest.
it. And the most successful and the richest, yeah. And the best relationship with our wives, you know.
Yeah.
We just have perfect relationships with our wives. You know what's funny?
And then when they talk about how Doug Smith's a father, they say, at least he's not Mike Racine levels.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, your kid's a little older, right? So
Yeah, he's 7.5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that's, I have no idea
now
what
I gotta
that's
try
like.
to set a good example and shit.
Uh-huh.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I have no reference of what that's like, but I imagine you
Yeah.
still have to like text your wife all the time about what you're doing. You have to like, you know,
Yeah.
the scheduling and everything. You gotta be like, hey, do you mind if I take a shit? You have to text,
Yes.
ask permission to take a shit.
Permission needs to be granted for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I go, how are you supposed to fuck this person when you're always, you know?
I mean, we're at the point. Are you at the point now where sex is scheduled? I never thought I would get there, but it's happening.
Sort of vaguely. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be like, I have a
Like
boner.
sometimes
I'll be like, sometimes I'll just text.
Scheduled in a way that there's a clock ticking.
There's literally, I get a boner and then I have a little hourglass that comes with the boggle set, and I have to turn it upside down, and just that's how long my boner will last.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, babe, I had to come quick. I'm making the schedule work.
Yeah.
Sound like a used car salesman. You're like, act now.
Yeah. Get in here. You have to, like a timeshare salesman. Create a sense of urgency. But that's why I think Mother's Day and Father's Day should just be like a day where you can cheat on your spouse. If you really love your mother or your father, you would let your mother go get some side dick. You know,
Amen.
you wouldn't you wouldn't take her to breakfast or all this other horse shit. You would let your mom go. You would let your mom go fuck, and you would let your dad go try to fuck.
You let your mom sleep till noon for once, and then you have her woken up by a man who's going to take care of her.
Yeah. Especially since my wife is the one that's supporting us. So every time I buy her flowers or take her out to dinner, it's just her money.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's like, thanks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like buying your parents a gift when you're in high school. Recycling
With
some of
your
my
allowance.
Book fair money well spent.
That's funny. My wife probably could do that, but she's so bad with money that it all just kind of like, it all just goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all on you.
Yeah. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Doug, your face got slashed, I think, by no, we'll get into that a little later. You know, I saw a TikTok last night, and there was a girl who was she was like dancing in her room, and then she was being home invaded.
So that you could see the intruder in the background?
She's
Did it
like,
take her a while to
there,
realize?
the window starts to open, and she's like, who are you? Like, get out of my apartment. And I guess she ended up surviving.
And then he
What?
started doing the dance that she was doing.
And they went viral. Yeah.
He's like, tag me or I'll kill you.
Yeah. He actually became a TikTok star. He murdered her, but now he's a star
Now
on
she's
TikTok.
invited him back for collabs.
Yeah.
How many little girls would have not been kidnapped in the 90s if TikTok was around and they were filming videos in their bedrooms at the time, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did that happen though? Because I feel like when I in the 90s, I was so scared that
With this technology of TikTok, we could have saved Madeline McCann, John Benet Ramsey.
yeah. Now what happened to her? She disappeared on vacation.
Yeah, Madeline.
Yeah.
She's another one where they're like, the parents probably did it.
Oh, you think?
Some of their statements were really weird. And
Okay.
I haven't looked into it that much, but...
Madeline. Maybe don't name your kid after a ghost. That's a ghost name.
Right.
Madeline.
There was like a funny thing in the United Kingdom where people would like would submit like random photos of events to newspapers, but then they would Photoshop Madeline into it, so the papers would just like print it or whatever, and they would just be like, "Where's Waldo? There's Madeline McCann," while she was still missing.
Jeez.
Who was the girl who fell in love with the guy and the lady that took her?
Elizabeth Smart.
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
More like Elizabeth
Something.
Dumb. Dumb War. Got her. Click, click, boom. On to the next subject.
All right.
She sets him up, you knock him down.
Wait, Doug, I'm curious. You live in like a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom?
It's a 2.5 bedroom actually, but we turned the other bedroom into an office, and my son in the half bedroom.
Oh,
is
your
my
son
son's
sleeps-
room. So we made my son sleep in a closet.
Oh,
But no,
okay.
he actually doesn't. He's
I was going to say your son sleeps in your bed?
he still sleeps in. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you want to know how fucked up you sleep
It's
trained
fucked
your
up,
kid, right?
What's that?
You sleep trained Ben, right?
He ends up in our bed like pretty much every day.
Dude, my son is
Every
going to
night,
be 8 in September.
Yeah.
We never slept trained him,
Yeah.
right? So for a while, he was sleeping in bed with so 3 of us in one bed. Not
Yeah.
even a queen-size bed, a full-size bed, which is barely enough for 2 people.
Yeah.
And then, like, we're like, all right, he's getting too big for this. But rather than kick him out into his own bed, I went and slept in his room, so my wife would sleep with him.
But then you can jack off.
That's true. Do a Captain Underpants poster.
Doug's like, I think, why don't I? You know what?
Best nut I ever had.
He's like, I'm the man. If this was the Titanic, I would have to not be on the lifeboat. Why don't I sacrifice? And he's just like got his knees on the wall. He's jacking off, and he's so happy. Somebody asked me, they were like, when do you jack off? Now that you have kids, and I'm like, I get like a golden half hour after my wife and kid go to sleep.
Yeah.
Where I can jack off in my living room, which that wasn't on any of
That's
the
brazen.
sitcoms.
I just jack off in the bathroom straight into the toilet bowl.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like when I live with
Leave
my
no trace.
right when I live with my parents that you jack off in the tissues and then you flush it down the toilet. There's like no trace.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
if
have never in my life jacked off into a towel or a sock. I don't know why guys have to be so sloppy about it. There's no reason for that.
All right.
I have done socks. I
jack-
think it's a
I jack
lazy
off like
thing,
Like a
I
tidy
just
murderer.
didn't grab tissues. And Mike can't jerk off standing up, he's told us. So you have to be like
I don't know if I can. I've just never done it.
He's never
I have
done
to
it.
be-
Never.
How amazing.
That's how you
What
spice.
a-
That's
what
how you
an
spice
amazing
things up.
person.
No, you can get a boner standing up. I guess I could try.
It's Mike like
Look at him looking
Dude,
at us.
I have to be.
He's looking at us like a little confused.
Well,
You
forever.
just
Prove
boner
it now. I don't
standing up.
believe it.
Well, forever I would jack off. I would lay on my stomach and I would fuck my palms, and that's how I jacked off for the first 2 years of my jacking off career.
So interesting.
Yeah,
He had
and
to learn
then-
it like the first man had
Which
to learn
isn't-
his body.
Yeah.
There was nothing influencing him at all.
Yeah.
You grew up with rocks. Like rocks raised
That's
you.
how
You know how they
orangutan-
say raised by wolves? He was raised by rocks.
That's how orangutans jack off. Actually,
Yeah.
they fuck their palms. So then I think when I was around, I don't know, probably 24 years old, I started jacking off. No, I think I was 23. Yeah, when I was right around 23, I started jacking off the regular way.
The right way.
Regular way.
And then I would be like, oh yeah, that guy's a doctor. I go like that.
Your jerk off motion was you
Yeah.
pushing your hand against your dick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rolling his eyes behind his head.
you've never in your life jerked off standing up. 35
no.
years old.
No, I mean, I guess I have to now. I guess support us on Patreon,
You're like,
patreon.com.
whoa, this is way better.
Yeah.
He's
Is
gonna end
it
up
way
in the
better?
Mike
hospital.
just
He's
thought
gonna
of,
post
Mike
a
just
picture
thought of
on
a new
Instagram.
tier. The $20 tier. Watch my knees give out.
To get and maintain a boner, I have to be on my back for some reason. That's just or on my, I guess, on my knees. If I'm doing missionary.
Yeah.
So you've jacked off
Yeah.
on your knees, but never standing up.
Not on my, no, not. I've had sex.
Oh, okay.
I have sex with a woman.
With a woman, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get on your knees to do that, as we all know. It's a big part of having sex with
No,
women.
I'm just not confident
getting
enough. I'm just not confident enough in my erections to
You think gravity will just take over?
I think gravity will take over. Yeah.
Yeah.
just imagine.
I guess I should give it a shot, but it's I don't know. I don't need to. It's like when you do something a certain way. It's like the guy who eats at McDonald's every day, and he's like, why would I try a Whopper? This works. It's like the guy who never tried aioli.
Yeah,
it's like the guy who never went to Chipotle because there's a Del
like,
Taco right near his house.
Good enough for me.
Qdoba's good enough for me. Yeah, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, you jack off standing up and give yourself a hernia and get in the hospital because you get too excited about it.
Yeah, I guess I will try. My son has a ball pit, so maybe I'll jack off into his ball pit.
We've definitely laid down in the ball pit and jacked off.
No, but that's not a bad idea.
Anyway.
Yeah.
If his ball pit isn't already full of jizz, it's time.
I'm just imagining like Mike, like half hour after Deb and Ben are asleep, just like laying on the couch with a big bowl of ice cream on his stomach, fucking jacking off.
Mike, was it you who was molested in a ball pit, or one of our other friends?
No, not me.
One of our friends was molested in a ball pit for sure.
Saint Germain.
Was it Saint Germain
or
that
sounds
Lawrence
like
or
one of his.
someone?
He just felt a hand reach from below.
Come here, like, I don't know. One of our friends jerked someone off in a ball pit or something.
I mean, that is
you
a
don't know
pretty
who it
good
was?
place to do it.
Yeah. Or maybe an 11-year-old made him watch him. Was like, watch me jerk off, but they were in a ball pit. Maybe we'll find out on the Patreon.
I could never do that.
It's like the movie theater popcorn trick from Porky's, but you've just got a big ball pit on your genital area.
All right, so a little pro tip for everybody. I read an article about how to survive a home invasion.
Okay.
And all they really said was, like, have a safe room in the house. Have a safe room.
So you can only survive a home invasion if you're wealthy.
Yeah.
This is Mike justifying a podcast room.
Yeah.
We'll call it a safe room.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of home invasions happen in New York, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends if you have an accessible fire escape. I could easily have a home invasion.
You could.
Second
Don't say anything
floor,
like that.
climbable terrace. Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. Wow. Broken window locks.
What do you think that is in a city? Do you think there's maybe less home invasions in a city because there would just be more robbings in public? Like everybody knows that their lives are in their pockets when you're walking around New York City. Nothing of value is at the apartment. It's all in your back pocket or in your front pocket or wherever you choose to put it. Right?
Yeah.
So that's why there's muggings in the street.
There's also like security cameras everywhere, so I would just imagine that. But anyway, what did they say in this article?
There's so much crime.
My house got broken into when I was 9.
Where?
When you were 9. Where
in
at?
Connecticut.
See?
Yeah. It was terrifying. We weren't
you were
there.
home.
We
You weren't
weren't there.
there.
We weren't there. But just coming home and just like furniture was flipped over and drawers dumped all over the place, and the dog had pissed all over the floor. And
Oh, the poor dog.
shaking under the table. It was terrifying. I was terrified. I fucking slept in bed with my dad that night. I never even hugged the man.
Oh,
I was
jeez.
sharing a bed with him that night.
Oh, that's so scary.
Somebody tried to steal the brakes off my bike last night, and I'm really pissed about that.
No.
Because there's a baby seat on my bike. Yeah, and they stole the tire
That's
like a
fucked
few
up.
weeks ago. Yeah, some fucking, I don't know, some fucking,
Kid. Just a kid,
some
probably.
fucking junkie.
Yeah.
Some fucking drug addict, probably.
Sure.
No offense to anybody. No offense to our
No
listeners.
offense to our drug
No
addict.
offense
I'm
to any
just-
bicyclists out there.
I'm just so mad because I don't know what to do about it now. I guess I got to start bringing the bike
They
inside.
cut your brakes. It sounds like
Yeah.
an Italian hit.
It might have been, yeah.
Like they're trying to do a mob hit on Mike, but he doesn't drive around in a car much. Like, cut your brakes on your bicycle.
Yeah, they're like, I know how he really gets around.
Yeah, pay off the Chinese food delivery guy. He's the only one who has access to Mike.
They try to kill Mike by cutting the brakes on his bicycle, and he just doesn't use it for 4 months. Just gets fatter and fatter.
Yeah. And then when he realizes the brakes don't work, he blames it on himself and not riding the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, must not have been maintaining it.
Just sits on the street collecting dust. They're like, any day now.
He just doesn't want to ride the kid around the block. She's like, Mike, take him out to ride around or something. So Mike fucking takes the wheel in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I can't.
But I don't know. It's like the second time. Somebody keeps like fucking with my bike. So, yeah, I don't know.
Gotta get 'em,
But
man.
so if you jack off lying down, you have to go to the couch, or you can do it in the bed when they're asleep.
No, not in the bed when they're asleep. What are you nuts? I'm not some
he waits till heavy REM
sicko.
sleep, Sean. It's about half hour into sleep.
It's like he just wakes up, Daddy, what are you doing?
He waits till they're in a
Oh, I forgot you
deep
could
dream
talk.
state.
Like Ben's earliest memory.
Like,
Yeah, you
he
have to
draws
just-
a picture of it in daycare.
Do you? Now you have a clear memory of sleeping with your father in bed. Do you have clear memories, Mike and Sean, of like sleeping with your parents in bed?
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
But see, I'm hoping that when he learns how to talk, I can explain it to him that he's got to sleep in his own bed. But it doesn't sound like that's going to happen.
You got to tell him why.
Yeah.
Daddy needs alone time.
Yeah.
He's gonna be. Like,
You'll know one
That's
day.
gonna be tough, man. It feels like it's gonna be a fight over Deb.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
wants to sleep with her,
Yeah.
and you want to sleep with her.
Yeah.
So wait, what's the current sleeping arrangement? Is
He
in bed
has a
with
little bed next to our
Next to
bed.
yours? Okay,
Yeah.
that's still
pretty cool.
that's something.
But he always ends up in our
Oh,
bed.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what else though? He's at an age where it's probably nice, right? It's like when a puppy sleeps in the bed.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
That's your kid, and you want to sleep with it. Like that's the truth. Like they're cute
Right.
babies, and you love them.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It just doesn't seem like it's going to be over anytime soon.
No, you're gonna love them forever, but you got to stop.
Yeah,
You're
I know. I told one of my buddies about my sleep situation. He's like, "Wait," he's blown away. He's like, "Wait, you share a bed with a fucking 7.5-year-old?" He's like,
Yeah.
"When are you gonna kick him out when his morning wood hits you in the back?"
No, I would have loved that though. To sleep
I
with
definitely
my
had
parents.
boners at like 6. I think I got boners.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
You did.
Well, Doug, in
Yeah.
another 2 years when your son stops breastfeeding, you'll have to kick him out, I think.
Did I remember like seeing women that's like from school that like with, like substitute teachers or whatever, and I remember them making me horny, and I wanted to like jack off to them, but I didn't know like, what to think about. So I would just imagine like them like with my dad. I would imagine my dad like groping them. It's a very weird thing to be like fucking your palms too.
You tell your dad, he starts jacking off.
My dad
Daddy,
told
guess
me that
what?
when I was a kid, I was like, I was pushing on my dick, and he was like, quit. He was like, quit playing with it. It's not going to get any bigger.
Yeah.
And then I said, I'm not playing with it. I'm just trying to push it down. Which
Yeah.
is what I was trying to do.
But then joke's on him, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it did get bigger.
Yeah, he's got the
Like,
hard
I'm
on
not
now.
playing, I'm
well, his
dead
whole body, I
serious.
think, but
Oh God.
So anyway, you got a podcast out.
I do.
It's called Jehovah Boy. Yeah.
Jehovah Boy.
Oh,
Do you think
wait a
you
minute.
were robbed because you were a Jehovah's Witness, raised a Jehovah Boy?
Yeah. They were like, he came to my house. I'm going to his.
Well, that's like a hate crime if they robbed you. You're a Jehovah's Witness. You don't think that's a hate crime? You don't know
I
people
guess.
hate Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, maybe the guy was just
I
trying to
mean,
get
they
his time
should.
back. Maybe you robbed him of his time, and he was just trying to get
You gonna ruin my
get a
Saturday?
fucking TV out of it. Yeah,
That is the perfect crime, though. It's like, oh, they're out knocking on doors. Nobody's
yeah,
home.
yeah.
Yeah, did you hate Scooby-Doo because they didn't knock on the doors they ran through? Could you not get over that they were just running through them?
Yeah. They just walked in there.
Wait, I'm kind of
Assholes.
fascinated by this because I feel like I've known you like over a decade
You
now.
didn't know this,
What's that?
and you didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't know that you never had a podcast. I think that's what did you do with your career? There,
Clearly
like
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, but a white guy with no podcast.
Yeah. Right.
That's
I know,
crazy.
I know.
And now you're
You-
finally
He always came off to me as like a Wild Thornberrys type of guy.
him.
Me?
Yeah, you're like a white guy that kind of belongs in the jungle. Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I would love to live. If
Yeah,
I didn't
man,
live
you
here, I
belong
would live
in,
like
you
Unabomber.
belong in
Unabomber style.
somewhere, but you belong in
shack
like the
in the
jungles.
woods writing a
yeah, you got
manifesto.
stories, but
What do you mean he belongs in the jungle?
he seems like he's very capable of being. Look at him, he's more than capable. How old are you? He
you
shouldn't
calling-
look the way he looks.
Are you calling me black?
No. I think I don't know. I think you seem like someone who would do like piecework overseas. In a non-religious way. So that's why you were like, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. And I was like, oh, I always perceived you as like a guy who would like travel places and do nice things, but not be annoying about it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I listened to our last episode today, and you have an ability where you half the time when you talk, you get somewhere really, really funny.
I'm not trying to go nowhere funny.
And then the other half of the time, you're like, what the fuck is he saying?
No, I'm asking you. I'm not making a joke.
You seem like a Wild Thornberries guy.
Yeah, you ever see Wild Thornberries? It's like white people who, right? But they're like traveling the world.
Her dad was British, though.
You know, he feels kind of like that. You don't think so?
Yeah. No.
You feel like a traveling man.
Okay.
But he's not at all. He's a
How
family
do you know?
man.
I'm a traveling man.
Well, then tell us the story. That's what I mean to ask.
But not for Joe. Not for like missionary.
Oh,
work,
no.
Just for
life.
Yeah.
You're like an NBA player with like a 50% field goal percentage. Sometimes you nail it, and then sometimes it just like.
I'm not trying to get a joke. I'm trying to.
You just
we
throw
don't
the
know
ball
Doug.
into the.
We don't know Doug,
We're
right?
always trying to get a joke. I know Doug.
No, you
I
don't.
guess not, yeah.
You just said you don't know much about him, right?
I guess. Well, yeah. I guess.
Exactly.
I've known him for a long time.
But to me, you always felt like a guy who traveled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have. Yeah.
Thank you. See, I was right.
I have traveled.
He's a Wild Thornberry type.
Not as a witness, though. When I was, excommunicated.
Why were you excommunicated?
When I excommunicated myself.
Oh.
You excommunicated yourself.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't get fired. I quit.
And is that something that at a point it's like they let you do that at 18? Do you want to stay or quit? Like the Amish?
which is smart that they do that. They have the
Amish.
Rumspringa, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm sure you knew this, but did you know that like 95% of them come back?
Yeah.
After their year.
The Amish?
Yeah.
That's a year? I thought it was like a weekend. I thought it was just
It's a year, isn't it? I thought they
I don't
give
know
me a
how
year.
long it is, but yeah, it's more than a weekend. But yeah,
I had no idea that many of them come back.
They get to go to like do meth and have sex with people and live in the modern world, and then they have a choice if they want to come back.
I wonder if Hasidic Jews have a Rumspringa and they have to like rent an apartment. And they're like, no.
You have to like be nice to women.
Yeah. You have to go to school and learn how to read instead of. They don't learn how to read.
It's true.
There's like it was like a scandal or something.
No, they purposely
don't
keep
learn
them stunted so that they're dependent on the organization.
They don't learn like long division. Yeah, the Hasidic Jews.
The Hasidic Rumspringa.
What does long division do to anybody?
The Hasidic Rumspringa, it's where you don't give a baby herpes for a year, and they hate it so much they all go back.
Jesus. I don't know enough about Hasids to know what is like hate speech towards them and what is just fact,
Right.
But wow, they don't let
But they circumcise children with their teeth, right?
I heard. I assume that was some, like the way some people in Hollywood do some silly shit.
No, they suck the blood out
of the dick, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's also like not sexual. They don't have hard-ons while they're doing it. It's like part of it. It's an ancient ceremony.
Only if they're lying down. They can't do it standing
You are
up.
so like naive. You think that these guys are just sucking a baby's dick in a non-sexual way?
No, they're sucking blood out of it, right?
Yeah, but you don't put your mouth on a baby's dick unless you.
How long
really
has it been
want to.
happening? Is what I'm asking. Did they just start this, or has this been going on forever? Because the same way you cuddle with your child, maybe a Hasidic man could suck blood out of a tiny cock. Because he's not thinking about it like that. He's thinking about it religiously.
It's
just
not
like
for him. It's for them.
It's not for him. He's not even thinking about it like that. That's just life for a Hasid. A baby dick in your mouth. What are you, not Hasid?
I don't. I think you're too forgiving of people. I think you don't understand.
I just don't want to be called an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Well,
This is the position they're putting me.
No, but you just don't understand that the world is evil.
No, that's true. I'm learning. Learning.
Yeah. But anyway, you don't understand. You don't understand that people can be bad. And when you get benched from the podcast, you're not going to see it coming. But anyway, so what's the podcast about, Doug?
So it's basically talking about my origin story as a J-dub, and then talking to other people that not necessarily. I was thinking of going an entirely religious lens. It's talking to like Orthodox Jews or Mormons or other Jehovah's Witnesses, but then I realized I would run out pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So other people that have had, so I had Ari on as my first guest talking about Orthodox Judaism. There's tons of parallels. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. But anybody who's had any sort of fucked up childhood or whatever, any sort of traumatic upbringing that they've, I don't want to keep it to just comics either. I want to have like musicians, artists, actors, anybody who's been able to channel that into their creativity.
Now, did you have to knock on the doors?
Yeah. From the time I was like 6 years old, knocking on doors. Yeah.
And was that ever fun or enjoyable?
No,
was
it was awful.
Yeah.
I had people slam doors in my face. I ran from attack dogs. I had a dude threaten to pull a gun on me when I was 12. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was horrifying.
You tried to convert Mr. Burns. Sick the dog on you.
Were there things you took away from it? Like, is it easier to approach doors now? Like it takes some people a while. Like, they pull up to the place and they take 10 minutes to even walk inside. They got to mentally prepare. Can you just ring a doorbell and enter a place?
No. Conversely, I'd say when somebody enters me into their home, I'm like, are you sure about this?
So sorry.
I don't think you want me. I'll go now.
Now, does anybody who knocks on the doors, do they get any, is there anybody who actually enjoys it and feels like there's some kind of purpose in what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, they think that that's the whole point of the religion is to try to save others, because they believe that unless you're a Jehovah's Witness, unless you're a faithful servant of Jehovah, you're going to be destroyed at Armageddon. So they think they're doing the Lord's work by saving people. So people get joy from it. But for me it was horrifying because I would run into kids from school all the time.
Right.
That's where the name Jehovah Boy came from. We get like a territory map. So it would have like several streets on a territory map, and then you would have to hit every house on that street.
It was a sex offender map, but they just used it for. You can get it free from if you call like a 1-800. If you call 311.
Yeah, every guy who let you in was trying to have sex with you. Do you realize this, Doug?
He just like put it together. Like all the nicest people were just sex offenders.
Yeah, they're like, Doug is our most persuasive salesman. All the men in this area keep inviting him in.
Wow, Doug, you've converted 17 single men this month.
17 single childless men.
Everyone whose house he goes to has like windmills and gnomes in front of it.
Whatever kept me from knocking on more doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Well, I mean, Doug knocks on the guy's door, and then the guy comes and knocks on Doug's door. Like, by the way, I have to tell you.
Who's the competition?
That
Girl Scouts? Girl Scouts were a problem. You definitely at some point
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Pitch cookies. Like there should be Jehovah snacks that.
Yeah, right.
You should be selling something.
Yeah, give them what they want.
Really.
I had a marketing job when I was in high school and college. We went door to door. We were trying to sign people up for home improvement pitches, sales pitches. Yeah, so we would go around the neighborhood and be like, "Can we give you a free estimate?" I don't know. I kind of liked it. I was pretty good at it.
I mean, that's something people are receptive to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Free estimate? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're, waking somebody up on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock telling them they're going to get fucking nuked by a fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys don't even bring anything, right? Like, you can't even, you should bring coffee for people. Because what you're doing is, okay, let you in. Now I have to make you coffee because what, are we going to sit there and not snack? Are we going to sit,
That's true.
Now you're my guest. And so maybe Jehovah's to start bringing shit.
It's like.
But also, you can't, right? You don't do presents.
Give him a second.
Oh, shit. What was that? What was that? Go.
No, it's like going, hey, I know it's your weekend, but can I interest you in an apocalyptic death cult?
Yeah. Can I tell you how you're gonna die? Yeah. Well, wait. What did you say?
Presents.
Yeah, you guys aren't allowed to have presents, right?
It's not that you can't have presents. You can give presents. It just can't be given for any purposes of like a pagan holiday. So no birthdays, no Christmas. So we had.
But if you cheat on your wife, you can get her something nice, right?
But how is a birthday a pagan holiday? It's your birth.
You want to know? I'll tell you. So
of course I want to know.
There's one account of a birthday in the Bible.
Fuck yes.
And it was King Herod, who told his daughter on her 18th birthday that she could have anything that she wanted. And she asked for the head of John the Baptist on a silver platter.
That's wrong.
And so she got it. So they
no.
decapitated John the Baptist, brought her his head on a silver platter, and for that reason...
But that's not everybody's birthday.
Exactly. It's like, I just want a fucking tricycle.
What about Jesus' birthday? Isn't Jesus' birthday in the Bible?
No, they don't acknowledge it by the date.
So they also believe, December 25th is... They claim that is not when Jesus was born.
Okay.
He was born.
Also, do they talk about her like pushing him out? No, it's just they show up and he's laying there, right? But do they talk about and she was 7 hours in labor and you wouldn't believe it, there was no medicine and she did it. They don't talk about that. It's just
no epidural.
They don't talk about who held her hand while she pushed him out, right? It's just they arrived with shillings and
it seemed like it was a pretty easy
gold or whatever, myrrh.
Yeah, that's very good. I'm impressed.
Yeah,
frankincense and myrrh.
Frankincense, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so no birthdays, no Christmas. So some Jehovah's Witnesses, to throw their kid a bone, they would have what they would call Family Day, which usually fell like the day before or after Christmas. Like, we can't celebrate Christmas, but we'll give you some shit the day after. But it's not Christmas. Don't think it's Christmas.
That's nice.
But so but birthdays, like, kids would bring in cupcakes. And I would have to leave the room and go sit in the library by myself.
Really?
Jesus
Christ.
Yeah.
Did you you kind of like told on yourself like that, or you knew that
because
you'd get
I was
in
like
trouble?
I was so guilty. I thought my mom would find out, like beat the shit out of me if she found out that I ate a single cupcake. But then I would go back to class.
That would be good for me if I was in your class. I'd be like, actually, Doug's mom said I could have his cupcake.
Just fat Mike Racine.
Well, Michael Jackson is a Jehovah's Witness, right?
Is he?
Yes, dude.
Wait, can I just tell a quick cupcake-related story in elementary school? Because I remember, like, in elementary school, I'm really embarrassed about this, but these kids would come around for their birthday, and they would, like, give treats to the teachers, and the teachers would give them, like, gifts or whatever. And our second grade teacher would give you stickers. She put stickers all over your, like, all over your shirt. But she was on a diet, so she was like, I'm going to give the students my birthday treat. So she like went down the list of names, and when it got to me, I got like these two shitty donut holes from Dunkin' Donuts. Then when it got to the last girl, this girl Frances Taylor, this kid was coming around. And he had like cupcakes in an ice cream cone, and I had never seen it like that. But it wasn't my turn to get the treat; it was hers. So we were doing circle time, and the girl puts the ice cream cone cupcake on her desk, and on the way up, I stick my finger in the ice cream cone cupcake because it had this beautiful like pink frosting. I stick my finger in it. I eat it, and the teacher sees me, and it's like a whole thing. It's like a whole fucking thing.
You're like, yeah. Go to the library with Doug.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm kind of embarrassed about that, but I just never seen a cupcake like that before.
I've been there, man. I remember. It's just like, what is that? I can't find the word, but no self, containment.
Control. No self-control.
Control.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
It had pink frosting on it, too. I was like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's just big shit, dude.
Just imagine this beautiful, glowing little ice cream cupcake.
You're like, no, she's a Jehovah's Witness. Jumping in front of the cupcake like Secret Service in front of the president.
Anyway, so check out Doug's podcast. Now,
you never had Jehovah's Witnesses come to your door?
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah,
you did.
Yeah,
you hit him with the hose.
What's that?
You hit him with the hose?
No, I remember being like sympathetic,
yeah?
and then this lady was like, maybe a book for the children. I was like, oh yeah, I'll take that. And it was just this weird like children's book about kids who were sinners.
My book of Bible. Oh, kids who were sinners.
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I forget what it was, but it was like a very shitty. It was like a very shitty children's book.
They have a book all about, so they don't accept blood transfusions because they think that's playing God, and they have a whole book about kids with their
Magic
with
Johnson
their names
couldn't be
and
a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Because they also don't accept gay sex with Will Chamberlain.
That's what happened.
That's how he got it. I knew it.
Yeah.
How did he? Wait a minute.
Straight.
You know what's funny? First of all, Magic Johnson was so good at basketball. You do forget he had HIV.
Sure. Yeah.
But how did he get it? I don't know. Well, that'll be
I think
another
it was
episode.
fucking women, right?
Yeah.
He just fucked too many women.
Well, I don't think it's too many women. I think one of them had AIDS.
Just
I don't
one
think
wrong
you
woman. Yeah.
I don't think you fuck so many women.
Yeah,
you
what
get
if he
AIDS.
actually only had sex with one woman in his entire life?
Yeah.
Got AIDS.
Yeah. He cheated on his wife once, and the woman had AIDS.
When he's retiring, he's like, I feel like what I don't want to say the luckiest man in the world because I only fucked one woman and got AIDS. But I'm pretty lucky.
He hit the AIDS lottery.
Yeah. Maybe I should buy a scratch off or something. Then he wins $25 on a scratch off in the same day.
Yeah. He uses it for the copay for his meds.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: are you tired of telling the story about your face?
A little bit, but you guys always ask new and unique questions. So hit me with it.
Well, I don't even have necessarily questions about it. I mean, for listeners who don't know, Mike did save a lady in the subway. Doug.
Mike was busy lying down, jacking off.
Yeah.
Mike saved a lady, and then I pushed her onto the tracks.
So a man was attacking a woman on the train platform. What year was this?
2011.
What was the hit song at the time?
I saved the lady.
That's my question, motherfucker.
No, that wasn't 2007.
2011.
11, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I saved a lady from getting fucked the other night because I was on my back.
You saved a lady from getting diabetes by eating her cupcake.
Yeah, I did, actually. You're welcome.
Yeah.
But Doug, there was a woman being assaulted on a subway platform, and Doug said
she was getting roughed up. She was getting punched in the face by this guy.
Punched in the face by an adult man.
He was trying to rip her clothes off.
And Doug said,
New Yorkers
Mike,
are so
is
annoying.
that
you? Mike, you can't get hard standing up.
Do you think that New Yorkers are kind of cowards? Because we sort of have this like culture that, right, we mind our business, we don't get involved and stuff. But
countless people walked past.
Really?
Just did nothing.
Well, now paint us the picture though, where like it's late at night, it's on the subway platform, you're waiting for a train.
It wasn't that late actually. So it was leaving Cabin.
It was 5 p.m.
which was a show.
It was happy hour. And some ladies getting shit beaten out of her.
It was rush hour. This dude had brass balls.
Yeah.
He liked onlookers. No, it was leaving Cabin. So it was like Thursday night at like 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. What race?
Our listeners want to know.
Patreon.com/out for
number one question. Yeah. Let's do an Instagram poll. And it was in the 2nd Avenue subway station. And it wasn't on the platform. It was like, right where you swipe your card before you go down the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And people had just gotten off the train. There was a bunch of people coming up the stairs.
Yeah.
And he chased this woman up the stairs, grabbed her, threw her against the wall. She's screaming. He hauls off, punches her in the face. I waited until he punched her a second time.
Yeah.
No, you have to, right? Legally to be a hero. That's what they don't tell you about being a hero. You got to watch a lady get punched twice before you do hero stuff. Otherwise, you might not even have known if it was a punch.
You got to make sure she's not into it. You know?
It could be a flash mob or something.
Yeah. She could have been.
You're like, is this improv everywhere? It was the same day as the no pants subway ride, so he wasn't sure if it was a UCB type thing. UCB initiation.
Yeah.
UCB initiation.
Oh yeah, but so I yelled some shit out to him. You
don't want to tell us what you
hey,
yelled
buddy.
at him.
I said, hey, buddy.
We'll reveal the race.
Find out what race this guy was and what Doug yelled at him over on patreon.com/out for smokes.
Find out the one time you're allowed to say it. He let her go because he could tell that I wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
And then he came at me, and I had never been in a fight before, so I was like, all right, this is it. Let's do
How
this.
big is this guy?
He was basically the exact body,
as you.
height, weight as me.
So
so
I was like,
all
he's
right,
not out of your weight
this
class.
is a fair fight.
Yeah.
I would have just kept it pushing. When you weigh 130 pounds, it's better to mind your own business.
You don't know what that guy's got, in his trench coat.
Yeah. So he came at me, and I took a swing, and I was like 8 feet away from him when I took a swing. So big whiff, and then he hit me, and then I came back and I kicked him in the balls.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
And then he ran off, and I was like, "Yeah, fucking showed him." And then I turned, and I was about to get on the train to go home, and a woman coming up the stairs.
Now, this woman who I guess was giving him a hard time or something, who was just ruining his night.
Who clearly said something.
Yeah. Did she? Oh, so keep telling.
So another woman stopped me, and she was like, "Sir, you have a massive laceration on your face." Mm-hmm. And because I didn't feel anything because my adrenaline was pumping, and then I looked down and blood was just pouring down my jacket, and there's a big puddle of blood on the ground, and I still didn't know what happened, and then she led me up to the street, gave me a wad of napkins to slap on my face, and ambulance showed up. Like, cops were on the scene within minutes. Ambulance took like 20 minutes, and yeah, it turns out this guy had a fucking razor blade in his hand. So I thought he punched me, and he slashed me from, ear to the corner of my mouth.
And he has
23
a beautiful scar.
Beautiful. It's fading, man. I need him to touch it up a little bit.
Yeah, touch it up. It's great, man. Yeah. Only you and old Nazis, right?
Yeah, well, maybe just start riding the subway more today. In this era.
Yeah,
in
quit driving
2023.
everywhere.
Yeah, you'll get slashed again.
Yeah, the listeners can't see Doug's scar, but I remember Joel Wachowski had a funny roast joke at the Creek. He said, Doug's a good Samaritan. You can see it on his face.
It's a great-looking scar. He also looks like Robin Hood. Like, it all works out. It really... Honestly, if some schlub saved a lady, I don't think we'd care as much. It's the fact that you got cut in the face.
Now, the woman who was blue-balling this guy, clearly, did she, say thank you or anything? Did she have anything to say to you? No,
So she took off. She's
probably married to the guy now.
Yeah,
they probably have kids together. Fucking idiots.
Yeah, I just got in the way
These
there.
Fucking whores.
Got in the way there.
These fucking whores, Mike says.
I just interrupted their foreplay.
Yeah.
No, she was never seen again, but he roughed up 2 other women right before her.
Oh, he did? Oh, so he didn't know her.
Oh, so he was just going out swinging.
Oh.
Yeah, he was on a tear that night.
I always thought that it was like...
You thought he knew her?
I thought you saw a couple arguing. Yeah. So he's just going around bothering
honestly,
women.
that's why I didn't step in right away. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to get involved in this.
Yeah.
Domestic disturbance.
And then at Broadway Lafayette, there was a guy named Dan Smith who didn't do anything.
So, I gave a description of the cops, and then...
and what was in that description?
They were like, say the word so we know. And then the 2 other women gave a description. They found the guy 2 days later outside the same subway station. So he didn't even go into hiding or anything.
What did he do to these other women? He just
punched them.
Yeah.
So then I had to pick him out of a lineup.
Was he mentally ill, you think, probably?
So he was a homeless guy, no priors other than public intoxication. Mm-hmm. So I caught him on a bad night, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I had to pick him out of a lineup. Then I had to go to testify against him in court. That was the scariest part, was having to stare this dude in the eyes.
Yeah.
Just no remorse. And just be like, that's him.
But you got one more filthy homeless person. It's one less razor blade wielding filthy homeless person who...
Well, if
and then someone would get the brakes stolen on their bike.
Yeah, man. I mean...
You saved the guy's brake bicycles, probably.
Yeah, the New York Post called Doug a hero, but that was only when they heard what he yelled at the guy.
Yeah.
God damn, brother. Well, now there's a guy though who stopped a man on the subway. You don't even know about this story, Doug.
I don't know.
He killed a man on the subway. I think he's not a hero, in my opinion. He's the opposite of you. Some young white dude choked out.
It's weird, right?
It's beyond weird. You know when sometimes people hop on the train and they go, I don't give a fuck. I don't want to live. I'm ready to fucking fight anybody, and everybody just kind of looks at them and continues reading their books.
They start individually going like, "You're a fucking faggot. You're a fucking faggot." And you're like, "I'm
and
next."
You just
you're
sit there like,
you're
"Oh
like,
yeah."
You're like,
"Tell me something my girl hasn't told me already 5 times
like,
today.
I hope he doesn't see the real me.
I hope. He's gonna call me a faggot.
Yeah, you know those men on the trains.
I
shout exactly who you are at you. They're like magical homeless people who just know.
It's Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, you know how the crazy people know it. Like somehow they find the right words for who you are. Well, anyway, some fucking
it's
young
like
white
Hagrid
kid,
from Harry Potter.
Yeah, and there's a video.
Like, you're a faggot, Harry.
But look, if you're on the subway and some guy's just screaming "you're a faggot" at people, you just gotta start humming "Concrete Jungle where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do."
Some guy hops on the train, starts threatening people. He says, I don't care to live. I'll kill you. Whatever he says.
Yeah,
I don't even know what he says.
He says he didn't care if he goes back to jail.
Which someone literally said to me.
And I just want to say, right. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I give almost every homeless person that asks at least $1. Even the ones with disgusting hands that you like don't want to touch.
Isn't that the worst? When you graze their finger and you're like,
no, you give them $1 and they go, "Thank you, brother," and they hold their withered, fucking wrinkled hand
I
out.
think like last week, some homeless dude like sat down next to me and was just like disgusting, and then like I got out and then. For like 3 days, I was like itching, and I'm like, God damn it!
No way,
lice, and it was nothing. But then it's just like, how dare they be in public?
You start digging through the trash for cans. You're like, what am I doing? You just gradually turn.
It's like radioactive.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so a guy hops on the train like that. I believe he was 24 years old, right? 24-year-old, obviously mentally ill. You go, what is this fucking country?
No.
The guy who got killed is named Jordan Neely. He's 30 years old.
He's 30. What's the difference between 24 and 30?
No, because the guy who choked him was 24.
Was 24. Yeah.
He's going to hear this. That's what he's most upset
White
about.
kid chokes him. Is he from the city? This kid looks like...
I doubt it. He looks like corn.
They know he's a former Marine. They don't... Because this is just a New York Post article that came out today.
He looks corn-fed.
He does look corn-fed. He looks like a kid. And this is why he's definitely not from the city. This black guy hops on the train talking shit. This kid gets him in a fucking headlock.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Don't touch the guy talking shit. He's just talking shit.
Unless he like hit somebody.
I don't think he did. I think the kid thought but maybe this dumb fuck is from somewhere else.
I've never really, you know what?
Oh, I'm protecting people. He's a danger. No, he's not.
No,
he's
he's
talking
not,
shit.
yeah.
He fucking choked the guy for 15 minutes and killed him.
I've never really seen them hit somebody. Although one time I was in Chicago and there was like a homeless guy. He's like eating guacamole on the train across from me, and then he punches the kid next to him, and the kid gets up, and then I'm like, all right, just whatever. And then he starts blowing his nose and tossing tissues around the train, and one of them hit my jacket. And I was like, I wish I got punched. I'm like, I wish I got punched in the fucking face.
You didn't think he was homeless right away because he spent extra at Chipotle?
Yeah. No, he was like eating like a little grocery store tub of guacamole with his fingers, and I'm like, all right. And then just out of nowhere, he punches the kid, and then I'm like, I'm far enough away where this isn't an issue, and he starts throwing his fucking tissues. They're always like, you want to blame mental illness, but they are always a little bit malicious.
Well, I think that's part of the mental illness,
Yeah.
There's like, it comes off malicious. They pick someone they're mad at,
I mean, I've lived in New York a decade. It is getting worse. Like, in my opinion, like the subway, there is more people just like, there are more addicts. There's more homeless people. There's more mentally ill people. There's more like yelling and getting up in people's faces.
But all jokes aside, there should be like something we can do for these people. It shouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's the city.
Like
and
a bus that goes off a little, if you catch my drift.
The city and the state government just doesn't address these problems because that would fuck with property developers. So it just gets pushed onto the rest of us. And like what's happening with this fucking Marine who choked the guy out. I mean, I was on Twitter today. He's becoming like a new Bernie Getz, who was, of course, the guy in the 1980s who, like, when there was a big crime wave here, he got robbed and he shot some of the guys who robbed him. He paralyzed one of them. And the city tried to charge him with, attempted murder or whatever, but he became such a hero.
Is Death Wish based off of him?
Yeah, but the difference is he was getting robbed, right?
Right.
This kid is just standing up to a guy talking shit. It's like, that is standard New York. Okay, my first week in the city, some guy comes on the train crying. This is like 2011. He's crying, right? My granddaughter got shot by a stray bullet. I felt so bad. I gave him $20, right? A week later, he comes on crying. 6 months later, he comes crying. My granddaughter just got shot by, like, it's a lie, but you don't know.
This guy lost two granddaughters?
So it's just like her funeral's this weekend, whatever that lie was. It's like people come on trains and they talk their shit. You're not supposed to touch them unless he's touching people.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what's crazy is the cops let this guy go, the guy who killed a man. They let him go because all the other passengers were like, yeah, the guy was being annoying. Like, but there's no proof of him touching anybody.
If he was a Marine, he probably knew how to choke somebody out successfully.
Yeah.
But everybody on the train car was like, finish him.
Yeah. Have you been choked out?
No.
You get choked out pretty quick, and then
Really?
people are supposed to let go.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's like a 3-minute video of it, but then one of the passengers said he choked him for 15 minutes, which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And the reason I guess the cops let him go is because while he was choking the guy, he was telling passengers, "Hey, call 911 and let's get them here." And like he was acting like the authority, and so the cops were like, "Oh, you can go. You're being the authority." But there was no authority to be had. He wasn't hurting anybody.
Yeah.
Well,
unlike Doug's situation, where there's a clear hero.
If I was there, I wouldn't have done a goddamn
Exactly.
thing.
That's what I needed to hear. You don't do a fucking thing.
The good thing about what I did is now whenever I see a woman getting punched, I get to look the other way.
Yeah. Right, because you served your...
You know, when Doug's story got written up in the New York Post, the headline was, "Pussy doesn't finish the job."
Dude, a guy ran up to me in Jersey City at like 1 a.m. the other night, and he goes, "I don't give a fuck." He's screaming in the middle of the street. He goes, "I just got out of the pen. I don't give a fuck if I go back." The same shit this guy was allegedly saying, right? He hands me a call, his like ID. He's like, "You could fucking have it. Give me your fucking money." But he's like crying and being loud. So I'm just like, "I don't have any money." And he's like, you got EBT? And I was like, he goes, "You know what EBT is?" I go, "I know what it is."
He's
but
like, "Wait a minute, you're Scott Chaplin from the Out for Smokes podcast."
Dude, he's like holding my shoulders. He's like, he's not hurting me, but he's like being a problem. And I'm just laughing at him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Brother, I'm sorry. I have nothing." Mm-hmm. And then he just walked away and bothered other people. Mm-hmm. If you just laugh, they'll go away. That's like, you know how they go, like, when a bear comes, do this. Like, there's a way where if you're just like, "Yeah, man, me too," they go, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah, it's rare that you see them, like, actually assault anybody.
Yeah, they go, "I'm fucking going through
unless
it."
it's with a boogery tissue that hits your fucking nice jacket.
And you go, "Me too." You don't have to be mad at them. You go, "Man, me too."
Yeah.
I wish I could die too. I'm just not as loud as you about it. And they go, "Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that."
That guy was white, by the way.
I had a woman get on the train once with a whole, like, you know, laundry list of sob stories, you know, like, my daughter has cerebral palsy, my sister was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer, my husband died in a fire, just, you know, laundry list of lies. And I was like, "I'll give this lady $1, you know." I reach in my pocket. And I think I only have $1 in my pocket, so I pull it out and I start handing it to her, and I look, it's a fucking 20.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't put this back in my pocket, so I gave this woman $20.
You did?
And I was like, "I hope your husband died in a fire."
Yeah.
If not, I want that $20
I gave
back.
a woman $20 a few months ago. She's still on the streets. Like, what the fuck?
She didn't invest
I don't understand.
No, yeah.
It's like she bought a sandwich with
She didn't
it.
open a Roth IRA?
No, stupid bitch.
I gave her $20 in a hot marijuana stock tip. And she's still out there collecting garbage cans.
I said, "Here's a tip.
Garbage
Shiba Inu coin is way down right now. I'll show you my portfolio."
I have noticed the city getting worse at night, like the subways and stuff. And to me, it does feel like a drug problem, right?
Yeah, I mean, the heroin epidemic is getting worse. Fentanyl
is,
now.
right? It just feels
It's
like a
getting
drug
worse,
issue.
and they're not doing anything about
That's
it.
not big. Yeah. What do you do? I mean, you obviously go, "Can we help you?" Like, what do you say?
It's
to
like,
them?
I mean, like,
if only these people could listen to podcasts, they could get the real help they need from regular folk.
If only
like
they got
us.
the real medicine of laughter.
Yeah.
the reality is you can't solve these problems without seriously challenging concentrated money interests, which nobody in political power is willing to do. I mean, yes, actually, there is a way to solve these problems without challenging moneyed interests, and that is lock everybody up and just like draconian stuff, which is probably where we're going, because they're not going to stop, you know, the banks money laundering, which is why the drug epidemic has gotten so bad, because this is completely baked into our system at this point. They're not going to have more affordable housing. They're not going to take the rents down. Like, the rent's going up so much that contributes to homelessness. They're not going to lower the rent. So it's like, what do? You just lock everybody up. You throw them in prison, and I mean, it solves the problem to an extent, but it's also the cruelest and most evil way of solving the problem. But it's just one of those things where it's like, with this guy, this Marine who just killed the guy.
I would go to prison if my family could come with me, you know? Me and my baby have to join, like, the Nazi gang.
It's women driving these men crazy. That's why they're all strung out on the trains.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
Well, I was just saying, like, with this Marine, this story only came out today. He's probably going to get charged with, maybe manslaughter or, like, aggravated assault or something. And as soon as he does, well, he's going to become, like, a celebrity on the right wing. They'll all be raising money for him. He'll be the next Rittenhouse and all that.
Does he want to be? He lives here.
I don't know.
That's what's interesting.
But it's just, like, it all just gets boxed in this Democrat-Republican culture war, which inevitably forecloses these much more radical steps that have to be taken in order to solve this problem, because that's exactly what's been happening this last decade with rents almost doubling in New York. I mean, they're just constantly pushing the problem onto the people who actually live here, and then they're saying, you deal with it. And then when these kind of situations explode, well, this is going to fuel reactionary forces.
Yeah. If my bike gets fucked with one more time, I'm gonna fucking riot.
You're gonna riot?
Yeah.
You're gonna get on a train and hope somebody chokes you out.
Yeah. I don't give a fuck. My brakes are gone.
Yeah. Instead of, is there a doctor in the house? Is there a Marine in the house?
To end my life.
I would like to be choked by a Marine.
I don't give a fuck if a Marine chokes me to death.
Mike's bending his
I just get I just get a guy in the Air Force to like
There's a Navyman there.
Yeah, it just feels like I'm wearing a turtleneck.
Yeah, I was going to say, we all have like our own ways of kind of expressing our frustration. Like, homeless people will scream, I wish I could die on the train, whereas Mike Racine will post it on his Instagram stories.
Yeah, you got to keep the content. Anyway,
wait. I do before we run out of time, Doug. I did want to ask if you can tell us like why you left the Jehovah's Witnesses. You said you excommunicated yourself at 18.
20. Yeah. Why did I leave? I wanted a birthday present. No, I
I get it.
It's like the most restrictive, repressive thing you could be a part of. I mean, outside Orthodox Hasidic Jews take the cake by far. We would actually pass.
Yeah, but they get to fuck some of the hottest women in Brooklyn.
Yes, if you got a fetish,
Brooklyn.
You got a fetish for wigs and wool dresses. We used to pass a Hasidic community on the way to our Jehovah's Witness conventions. And I would look out the window and be like, well, at least I'm not that. Oh, God.
Yeah.
So that was like the silver lining. But it was
yeah.
I wanted to.
Man, those guys are too strict.
Well, but wait, if the Jacksons are Jehovah's Witness, Michael Jackson died
Dude,
at Jehovah's Witness.
you have no idea
right?
how many celebrities were Jehovah's. The Williams sisters.
So what I'm saying is,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
yeah. So part of that is like this
Biggie
strict
Smalls'
discipline
mom.
of like get great, right? There's obviously like there's something in Jehovah's Witnesses that is good that you could get out of, that you could become a Serena Williams or Michael Jackson, or is that just your parents beating the shit out of you?
It's your parents. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I assume that it instills, like discipline and harsh, judgment of yourself, which I guess could be relayed into
greatness.
Imagine if you stayed in, you'd have like the number one podcast.
What the fuck is my excuse? Yeah.
Well, they're also stupid though. You were smart enough to go like,
your brain.
Man is not meant to be this disciplined and weird.
You're brainwashed.
Yeah.
And if you don't question anything, you stay in it. But like my parents also made the mistake of sending me to public school, whereas a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are homeschooled, so that they, similar with Hasids, they want to keep you in that bubble. You know what I mean? They don't leave that community. So going to public school, that was my portal to the outside world. So I saw what all these other kids were experiencing. And, when you're like 6 or 7, no birthdays, no Christmas, that sucks. But then once you hit like 15, you're like, I want to fuck.
Yeah.
And you can't have sex, no premarital sex. So Jehovah's Witnesses get married when they're like 20 years old.
Sure.
To the first person that, gives them a glance.
Yeah.
And just because they want to have sex. So
yeah, who doesn't have sex until they're 20 years old?
Yeah, nobody on this podcast.
Nobody on this podcast, that's for damn sure.
But wait, let's Doug, like leaving. I mean, do you have a relationship with your parents now?
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah, what was that like?
So my mom was the one who she was one of the few people that converted from somebody knocking on her door. So she was
Jesus Christ.
Hey man, good on her. That's an open motherfucker, right? To just be like, yeah, come on in.
Yeah, Mike should sell her his weed stock.
Yeah, take over my portfolio. It's gonna go up, I promise.
So for my whole life, I was resentful of my mom.
But there must be metrics of that, right? Where it's like if you knock on like 100,000 doors, like 2 people will convert.
Sure, totally.
Wow.
But for so long, I was like resentful of my mom. Like if my mom had not opened the door and had not been open to that, I never would have had to endure this. Yeah. But I found out a few years ago
there was a Muslim guy right behind the Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
She could have had,
Yeah, I could have gotten a Netflix special.
Yeah.
So, no, I found out from my dad a few years ago that the Jehovah's Witnesses originally came to the house when my dad was home. He came home on his lunch break to let the dog out. My mom was not home. He answered the door. They gave him his whole pitch about, do you want to be saved at Armageddon? He's like, I'm not really interested in this, but come back tomorrow when my wife is home. And they did. Now I'm like, well, fuck. Now I hate my dad.
Yeah.
It's all his fault.
Yeah, but why? I mean, she must have hated your father if anybody comes to the door and she's like, yeah, save me. Like, she wasn't happy, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
I mean,
it's
not
all
entirely him.
interesting.
She grew up like waspy, cold, emotionally unstable, alcoholic parents. So she was looking for like a family replacement or community.
Kindness.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So... But it's hard, when you leave, it's your entire world. So you got to fucking hit the reset button on your entire life because you get completely similar to Hasids. You're completely ostracized. So your family, friends that are in the religion, that are in the community, you're completely cut off, like just dead.
So you have old friends that you don't really.
Luckily, all my friends that were in my congregation also left. So I'm
just imagine a Hasidic guy like shaving his cutting his curls off and like taking the yarmulke off, and he still looks like super Jewish. He's like, oh, okay,
I am finally free.
Yeah. It's like Ari. Like Ari still looks. He looks so Jewish. He looks like an Orthodox Jew.
Ari, absolutely.
Yeah, he looks like the first Jew that was ever made.
He could have dreadlocks, and it would just look like he was wearing a Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Yeah, you open up an issue of Dear Stürmer, and you're like, wow, I didn't know Ari Shaffir was doing a show here in 1936 Germany.
And then so you pick comedy because...
Well, here's another thing. So, like, Jehovah's Witnesses, like... As opposed to Catholicism or Judaism where there's a rabbi or a priest, Jehovah's Witnesses, everybody in the congregation is encouraged to basically take the stage and read a Bible verse and then do like commentary on it. So from the time I was 8 years old, I would be in front of a crowd, in front of this congregation of 100 people at a podium talking into a microphone, reading Bible passages.
And then analyzing it.
Yeah.
So blood transfusions are bullshit, right? Have you seen these things?
That's what Bill Maher does. So
that's how Magic Johnson got AIDS. That's what I heard.
But I'm impressed that you know about the blood transfusion thing.
Oh, you mentioned
you mentioned
it.
Right.
Yeah. So countless witnesses are die unnecessarily.
What is the add-on? Are we going too long? But like, so you're Christians, but then there's like an add-on of like
apocalyptic death cult.
Like, hurry! There's only so many of us.
Apocalyptic death cult. Yeah, I mean it's closer to like Scientology than it is to Catholicism. Because they believe that like after Armageddon, God's gonna transform the world into a paradise Earth where like man and beast live in perfect harmony. So if you like look at their literature that they
it is like a Wild Thornberries type thing.
Told you.
Yeah,
this is very Noah's Ark-y.
Kinda, yeah.
And
like,
they get kids on Noah's Ark. It rules so fucking hard. It's like, yeah, I'll be a Christian. One of every animal. Like, live on a boat. Like you don't know. You're just a kid. You're like, I like animals. Noah liked animals. He's close to God.
But like their literature and part of the way they like make it enticing to kids, their literature shows like people frolicking in a field with lions, like in the paradise Earth, and they don't harm you because everything's perfect now. Everybody lives forever in a state of perfection. And
brother,
your dead loved ones are resurrected from the dead. It's like
they show someone
sci-fi.
fucking their palms and the dog is looking out, so the family doesn't come in.
I pictured you. I thought someone was knocking on the door. No. I picture you as a
Just the guy beating his wife.
Having lines around you. I was right. It's good to know that I was right, and now we can end the episode.
Yeah.
You are a jungle man, a Jehovah Boy.
Yeah. Thank you, Doug. Any other plugs?
Awesome comic, too.
No, man, just the pod. Check out the pod. Jehovah
Nice.
Boy. It's on all the platforms.
Yeah.
Trying to get a Patreon going.
Doug's a very funny stand-up, so definitely check his stuff out.
Such a funny stand-up. Yeah.
And I will be in Salem, Oregon this Saturday at the Infinity Room. 2 shows, 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. You get your tickets at MikeRacineComedy.com. I also got some dates: Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Austin coming up, Philly City Winery, May 26th. You can get your tickets at MikeRacineComedy.com. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Oh, I got a free article up on my Substack, SeanPMcCarthy.substack.com. Please subscribe, email. I got an article on RFK Jr. and his presidential run up there. So check that out, and I'll try to write more semi-regularly.
Check out Sean's Substack. And then, Scott, you're making your own dog food, I think, that you share with your
yourself?
puppy?
Yeah, I'm really making a box look nice. I'm going to crawl into it and die this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Join us over on Patreon. If you want, patreon.com/outforsmokes. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.